What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. This is 6 Scale Economist. So as I said in the intro, in this video we're going to be going over my vintage collection part 1. I think I might have the largest vintage collection in the YouTuber community. So we're going to go through part 1. As you can see, this is just one of 4 plastic totes that I have filled with vintage collection figures. So let's bust this bad boy open. Let's take a look at all these awesome figures. Alright, we got the squad laid out behind me. Let's jump right into it. There's some heat in this part of this video, so let's just jump right in. Let's take a closer look at all of these. Alright, so as you can see, we have them all laid out, and you know, with some of the better figures being at the top. So let's just start down here and take a look at some of these ones. This is in no particular order, but as you can see, first we do have Dengar, which I actually think is VC01, right? The first one, yep, VC01 for the vintage collection from Empire Strikes Back, which is awesome. Obviously, I have all of these in plastic cases. We got a Luke Death Star escape, R2-D2 Return the Jedi from Jabba's sail barge. We got Stormtrooper from Empire Strikes Back. This helmet always looked weird to me. It's just too big. It looks weird. But it's still cool. And obviously we got Forlom right here. Taking it up. Ewok gang, we got Wicket and Logray, definitely 2 awesome figures. We got Bespin Luke, definitely another great figure. Anakin Skywalker. This is probably one of my favorite figures in the vintage collection. This figure is absolutely fantastic. Let's see if we can just get a close up on this, get to focus with it. Obviously there's no hot toys or anything, but like for a 3 3/4 inch figure, I think that looks pretty damn good. We got Dak. A newer one over here, we actually have the Minbin Trooper, which is definitely a cool one. And we got the Clone Trooper from Revenge of the Sith. Moving on up, we do have the Return of the Jedi deleted scene Lando Calrissian in his Sandstorm outfit. Definitely a really cool one. Leia Organa from Empire Strikes Back. Man, she's a pinhead. Wow. Even in person too, she really looks like a pinhead. Rebel Shoulder from Empire Strikes Back. This one is crazy. This one is actually a pretty rare one, and it's for some reason goes for like $80 in the secondary market. I don't really know why. So I figure it's not nothing special, but another good one, Mace Windu. This is a great figure. He sells for about $40 in the in the secondary market unpunched. A lot of these figures I do have unpunched, as you can see. Got the Rebel Commando. This is an awesome one. This is Boba Fett on the Revenge of the Jedi card back. So as you can see, obviously for those of you who don't know, originally Star Wars Episode 6 was going to be called Revenge of the Jedi, but then George Lucas sacked it right before the movie came out because he said Jedis don't believe in revenge. And then we actually have the real Revenge. This is the Revenge. So this is also a newer figure. Pretty cool one. Alright, so keeping it going, we do have the Battle Droid from the Phantom Menace. Anakin again, but this time, if you'll notice, it is on the Darth Vader card back, which is obviously very cool. We got Malgus from the Expanded Universe. Character debut. I believe this one is actually a French variant. I do have a couple of different language variants in my collection. We got C-3PO from Empire Strikes Back to go with that R2-D2, and this is the first C-3PO release. We got one right here. I love this one. This is one of my favorites in my collection. We have the Darth Vader Emperor's Wrath version from Return of the Jedi. I just think that this card back is just so sick. So definitely an awesome figure, and definitely one that's like harder to find. He goes for about $70 in the secondary market unpunched. You might get 80 for it. We got the Revenge of the Jedi Stormtrooper. And we got Darth Sidious from Episode 1. This one is a pretty cool one. This one's actually not too hard to find and actually not that expensive in the secondary market for being a pretty awesome figure. And we have Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Attack of the Clones. Definitely cool, and I really like the image that they use on this one. Great shot of Ewan McGregor. We got Stormtrooper from Rogue One. Again, another relatively new one. I know some people really try and army build this guy, and it's honestly a really great, definitely the best sculpt we have for Stormtrooper in 1/6 scale. We got the Revenge of the Sith 501st Legion. Definitely an awesome one, obviously Rex's boys. We have a TIE Fighter pilot, again on the Revenge of the Jedi card back. Nice one. And we got everybody's favorite comic relief, you know, better than C-3PO, we got Jar Jar Binks. This one is unpunched. This one actually also, surprisingly, like, it doesn't come up. It's kind of like hard to find, but he's actually not that expensive. You can usually still pick him up for like $30 in the secondary market. But yep, we got the Sith Lord right there himself, Jar Jar Binks. The real Sith Lords that George Lucas had planned. I believe it. Moving on down, we got the Empire Strikes Back at Commander. This one's surprisingly a pretty expensive figure. He goes for about $50 to $60 in the secondary market. Definitely one of the rarer ones to try and find. Is he VC? Okay, yeah, he's part of the first wave, so VC05. I don't know if this is going to be able to cooperate with me, but... And then we have Clone Wars, Anakin Skywalker, and obviously for those of you who don't know, this was about an $80 figure until he announced that he's getting reissued, so we should be getting that soon. But yeah, definitely a good reissue for people who don't have this version of Anakin. We got another really cool one right here. This is Bespin Leia from Empire Strikes Back, and this one obviously is definitely a very rare one. I think she's part of the final wave. Yep, the final wave of the Vintage Collection run from 2010 to 2012. So she's definitely one of the rare ones. Most of these figures in this wave are pretty hard to find, but she commands a pretty penny, probably somewhere around $60 now. Unpunched, you might be able to get more. And actually, I think I have 3 of this one in my collection. I love this card design. What a great image of Carrie Fisher. And then we have the regular Stormtrooper. You know, nothing too crazy about this one. This is actually a Canadian card back again. But the real one is this Stormtrooper. Now this is the variant Stormtrooper, you know, and the one where he's all weathered up and dirty, unpunched. Again, from the final wave of the Vintage Collection. Now this Stormtrooper can sell for, you know, close to $100 in the secondary market, which is insane. This is a really cool version of the Stormtrooper. And then we just got the regular, you know, another Rebel Commando. This is the other variant. Definitely, you know, a solid one. And then really cool one again, we have the Revenge of the Jedi Boba Fett. Again, a very expensive figure. Probably, I've had a couple of these before. I think I sold one of them at one point for like $100 bucks. So that's definitely a cool one. And then another one, you know, most of these figures from here on out are going to be some of the more sought after figures from the Vintage Collection, but here we got Jango Fett, unpunched. Really an awesome figure. I actually have 2 of this version, both unpunched. I have this one, which is the Canadian, and then I also have the English version. So definitely a really great Vintage Collection figure. And we, of course, have the Revenge of the Sith Darth Sidious. This head sculpt is so amazing for 3 3/4. If we can just get this to focus, look at that head sculpt. For 3 3/4, it's honestly just remarkable that they were able to do this in 2010. But this is awesome. This is one of my favorite figures. I love the Revenge of the Sith. And then the last one from the ones that aren't like super rare, we have the Return of the Jedi Luke. And then the next ones that we're about to show you are some of the rarest figures that I have in my collection. Let's just jump right into it. So we have the Revenge of the Sith Commander, I almost said Revenge of the Smith. Revenge of the Sith Commander Gree, unpunched. This is an awesome figure. Probably like a $60 bill in the secondary market. Definitely a really cool one. And we have Darth Sidious, but this of course is the foil variant. I believe this is Canadian card back, foil variant, no sticker, absolutely pristine condition. This is definitely one of the grails in my vintage collection. A lot of these figures you're about to see are some of my grails. I also have the foil General Grievous. I have them both foil and non-foil, but the foil just really looks sick, as you can see that, you know, shine. So this is an awesome figure with an insane card back. And of course we have to have the duo, and if we're gonna have the duo, we're gonna have them both foil. We have Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Both foil. The card backs just look so good together, and they look so good right next to each other. I love having these two displayed next to each other, and I've considered displaying both of these with my Hot Toys, which I think would look really cool, but absolutely love these two. And of course the two foil, you have to add foil Commander Cody. Again, another absolutely amazing figure. Some of these figures took me so long to track down because I'm very particular on the condition that I have for my vintage collection. So all 3 of these are, you know, absolutely pristine condition, mint, and just really, really awesome to have together. Revenge of the Sith, my second favorite Star Wars movie, so this is an awesome set. Okay, now we're just getting into some of the grails of my vintage collection. The first being this Grand Moff Tarkin. Again, a super rare figure, especially to get unpunched. One of the later lines from the run. Absolutely love this figure. This figure unpunched probably goes for about $90 in the secondary market. We also have the Imperial Royal Guard with just an awesome card back, unpunched again. This is a very cool one. Unfortunately, I think there's a bit of damage on mine, which I actually didn't notice until I recorded this video. Just the bubble's a bit damaged, but overall this is just a really sick figure. We have Shae Vizsla, again, definitely an expensive figure. She's, probably about $150 in the secondary market. Unpunched. I gotta keep it mint. Character debut for this figure, obviously this is from the Old Republic video game, but this is definitely a very cool one. For the mail away, this was part of the mail away program they used to do from 2010 to 2012. You basically had to buy 5 vintage collection figures, you would cut out the UBC and you'd send it in, and in return you would get a rocket firing Boba Fett. So this is a very great one. Obviously all of them came unpunched. He's about $100 in the secondary market. And then we have a very important piece of my collection. This is Starkiller from Expanded Universe. As you can see, it has some writing on it. This is Sam Witwer's signature. He was the voice actor for Starkiller in the Force Unleashed video games, which is obviously some really good video games that, they did 2 of them. I played both of them back, probably, I guess it was like 10 years ago now. But this is just a really sick piece, and it's so awesome that it's signed by him. Obviously, if you guys who don't know, he is the voice of Darth Maul in Clone Wars, and this is just a really great figure. So without the signature, this is probably like a $120 figure. With the signature, I honestly don't even know how much it goes for. It's probably nothing like too crazy or anything, but it's never one that I've ever considered selling, so I haven't really looked into it too much. Another super rare figure from the vintage collection, we have the Republic Trooper from the Expanded Universe. This one fluctuates. Basically, he goes somewhere anywhere between $150 to $200. But this is just an absolutely awesome figure that I would never sell. So happy to have in my collection. Again, it's similar to Shae Vizsla. He's just one that's hard to find, and definitely a very cool one. But the #1 best grail in my vintage collection, you probably saw it in the thumbnail. It is the Return of the Jedi Yoda on the Return of the Jedi card back. For those of you guys who don't know anything about this figure, this was never released in the States. This was released only in Canada. As you can see, the card back is in Canadian, but super, super, super rare figure. Very hard to find. He's probably, the Mouse Droid and Salacious Crumb are probably the most expensive vintage collection figures, but in terms of what is the rarest vintage collection figure you have, it was probably this one. You basically just had to find them in store, on the pegs in Canada. So, in decent condition, this is a $300 figure. He can easily go for more. I've seen him sell for up to $500, in pristine condition, unpunched. But this is just an awesome figure. I, am in love with this card back, and obviously this is just the repack of Yoda from Revenge of the Sith. But it's this card back that just sells me on it. It's just such an awesome shot of Yoda, and I had to have it in my collection. Alright, and that's going to wrap up part 1 of my vintage collection. If you guys enjoyed this and want to see part 2 and see the rest of my vintage collection, potentially my Black Series figure, just make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments section down below. Again, I typically focus on Hot Toys, and that is where my collecting heart is right now. But, vintage collection, Black Series, that's where it all started for me, and I still have all of those figures. And so, if those things you guys want to see, just make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. This is 6Scale Economist, and as always, buy the dip, sell the rip. This is the way. We'll see you in the next video.